Alright, kia ora everyone and welcome back to ResBook Training Session 2. Thanks again for your time today, and as always, if you do have any audio or visual difficulties during today's session, please type it into the chat box at the upper right hand corner of your screen into the Go to Live Meeting panel. Now, I will stress again today that there is no need for you to stress throughout today's session. Most of what we're going to be covering is also available to you later on our online training site, and we'll show you where you can find that shortly. Now, session 2 is all about administration and reporting from within your ResBook system. So we're going to talk about today administering your stock units. We're going to talk about the different system-wide settings that control your booking and payment policy and your cancellation policy, etc. We're going to talk about your photo gallery. We're going to talk briefly about your transaction statements, how to connect to different portals. It's all about saving you time. ResBook can connect you through to different channels and different channel managers. We're going to talk briefly about reporting within ResBook, the different manuals and support options you have once your system is live. And then we'll have a moment for final questions and answers before covering the Go Live process. Now hopefully you'll recognise your ResBook system all logged in and ready to go. If you've recently just attended training session 1, you'll recall that we placed a booking yesterday that needs to be checked out today, and here is our checkout tab. So by clicking on the checkout tab, I can see the booking. I can go straight to the invoice if I wanted to check that out. I can go into the booking if I needed to make any changes, and by clicking on the checkout words there, it enables me to check the booking out. Now this booking will remove them from the in-house list and it will update the invoice. Now if you recall yesterday we collected the balance, but you may want to have done this just before you click on checkout. The checkout process updates this invoice and you can see the balance is 0. So from now I can print this and give them to the guest on their way out, and that's all there is to it for checking out a booking. Alright, before we get into our admin menu here today, I wanted to cover a few items left over in the blue bookings and the blue menu. We went through the bookings menu, we went through ResPay New Zealand and the online credit card processing module. We talked about messages, and we talked about the check-in, check-out and invoice functionality. I wanted to start off today with the guest arrivals and departure reports. So you can see here we've got two options. Now they're both very similar in working. You've got arrivals and departures in separate reports. In terms of navigating this particular report, you can put a from date in here and display 10 days from that date. And you can see down the bottom here, if we make sure everything is unticked here, you can see what the report contains normally. So we've got arrival date, booking name, the guest's name, agent if there is an agent, how many nights, etc. So this is what it normally includes. If you'd like to see more information in that report, you can do so by ticking a box within these fields and clicking on display. You'll notice that additional field gets added. If there was a mobile number attached to any of these bookings, you'd be able to see it here. And from here you can print or export that report. So the guest arrivals and departure reports work in the same way. At the top of this list we've got the guest list. Now this is just a great overview of all the guests that currently have bookings in your system for a particular time span. So you can see all the bookings in June listed out here as per their booking status, confirmed, pending or cancelled. Last but not least, in the guest list is the guest reviews option. Now, guest reviews are specifically related to our private channel, South Pacific Accommodation. This is what it looks like. Now, you can opt to list on this website from within your ResBook system. And you can ask your guests to place reviews here, and we'll go through different settings that to do with that. But this page within the guest menu shows you those reviews that have been entered. So by clicking on the guest, you can go in, you can see they've rated us 5 stars, and if they made any text, you can see it here also. Now, if you've received a manual review, perhaps in the form of an email or something, you can add it here manually yourself by clicking the Add the New Review button. So that's your guest menu drop down. Next is our agents. Now, I will point out to you at this point our online training resources website. So this is www.resbook.co.nz/training. On this site there are so many great videos and documents that will help you through a lot of things you need to know about ResBook. On here, first of all, we're going to look at agents. So please come over here and watch the agents video, and this will recap everything I'm about to tell you about agents. Also, we have what we call Res Agent for Agents video and a Res Agent for ResBook users, so you can learn more about ResBook for agents, which we call Res Agent. There's also a great document down the bottom here called Agent Statements. This is just to highlight to you the information that can be found on our training resources page, which is www.resbook.co.nz/training. So in our agents module, it allows you to work with agents. It's all about saving you time and allowing agents to place bookings directly into your ResBook system without you having to type them up or confirming rates or confirming availability. There are a couple of different ways to work with agents. First of all, as I previously mentioned, you can work with an agent, an availability agent, who has Res Agent, which is ResBook for agents. What happens is that agent can see your property within their software, just brief information about your property, and if they decide they like the look of your property and may want to book your property in the future, they can request a relationship request with you. You then get that notification from within ResBook, which you can answer. You can establish that relationship with that agent. You can negotiate your commission, and then from that point forward they'll be able to see a little bit more information about your property in their Res Agent application, their software, including your rates and their availability. So if they decide that they'd like to place a booking in your property, they can do so. Already knowing if you're available, what your rates are, and what your agreed commission is, and it gets placed directly into your system. You can then just accept that booking, and it'll automatically pop them an email to let you know that booking is in the system. Another way to work with agents is to set them up as an agent within your system. So you can see we've got a few added in here. Now, for instance, Vicky the agent, we've set up by clicking the New Agent button. Setting Vicky the agent up as an agent gives them a login and a password. So you can see here you've got a login name and a password that can be popped in there. All the information you need to know about that agent can be entered on this page, and you come down to the rate basis. So you can enter your standard commission rate there, whether you'd like this agent to be able to instantly confirm bookings or not. And there's also the option to capture credit card details from that particular agent if you're not yet on the basis of monthly invoicing with that agent. Now, once you've given an agent login and password, you can email them and let them know that they can go to your website and your online calendar and place bookings directly into your system the same way that your guests may do, ticking the box and clicking the agent booking button. You'll see here they can enter a login and password, and they can place the booking directly into your system. No back and forth about availability and rates, straight into your system. Another way of working with agents is when you're placing a new booking. I'm just going to go through this very fast here. We're going to select a booking. I'm going to put that straight to confirmed. When placing a manual booking, you select manual entry, agent request. And down the bottom, you tick the box where it says Agent Details. This is going to allow you to attach some further information about this particular agent to this booking. After clicking Save Booking, it's going to come up with another page asking us for information about this particular agent. Now, this is fantastic when you're working with portals. Perhaps you are also listed on What If. You can come in here and you can type in whether you've the details about this particular agent that this booking is for. Now, if you've worked with them before and you've saved a new agent or you've created the agent up there, they'll be in the established agent list. If not, you can go ahead and type in the new agent. The name's Miss Me today. Let's go with Kermit the Frog. Oh no, that would be the agent name, sorry. So our contact at this agency is Kermit. You can pop a phone number in for him and an email address also. You can put any extra details you'd like there, and you can put in the commission that you have agreed upon. Now, if you'd like to use Kermit in the future, you can tick on Save to Agents to have him included in the established agents list. If you'd like to send him the standard reply to say that he's placed a confirmed booking, you can select yes or no here. Now, if this was a booking that has come into your system via a channel, for instance from What If, you can select What If in this case and click on Save Booking. Now, this booking's been entered into the system with agent details. So at the bottom of this booking, you can see that it is a What If booking. Here's all the information, and here is the total of the booking after their commission has been deducted. Now, a great functionality when working with agents are the agent statements. So coming up into the agent module here, you can see this link at the end of each agent's area. By clicking on that agent statement, it allows you to run a report for a particular month. Now, that report will include all the bookings that have been put in under that agent. So you can see the booking we've just placed here today in this list, saying that the payment due was $48. So you can send this away to the agent to let them know that these are all the bookings they've placed during the month, and this is how much money they then owe you. So really handy to remember, the agent statement functionality. Now, one more thing about this agent list, if you do notice that there is a tick in this AV columns list, it means that they have the ResAgent software. So if you wanted to make any changes to these particular agents, they would need to do so themselves from within their software. Alright, so that's what you need to know about agents, and that covers this side of the blue menu line. Across here in the admin menu, now there's a lot to cover here. And we're firstly going to talk about stock configurations. First on our list is classifications. Now, a classification, as previously mentioned, is a grouping of stock units. So you'll recall the poolside rooms or the standard rooms. Now, when working with a classification, the name and description of the classification override the name and description of any stock units that have been put into this classification. In this drop down over here, we've got the main unit selection, and you can use the drop down to see all these physical stock units that have already been added to this classification. Now, same with most of the other pages within ResBook, there's a simple tick box that will allow you to delete that selected line. And to create a new classification, all you need to do is name it, pop the description in, and save changes. So when working with classifications, you first need to create the classification before you allocate stock units to it. That's what we're going to talk about next, is how to edit your stock units. So you'll notice I went admin, stock configurations, and down to stock units. Now hopefully your list of stock units looks a little easier than this list. But you can see down this side we've got the list of physical stock units has been displayed on this side. Here's our orange room and our turquoise room as previously discussed. The second line is whether this stock unit has been put into a classification. So you can see the orange room and the turquoise room don't belong to one, but room 1, 2 and 3 have already been allocated to the poolside rooms classification. Next line across here is the type of stock unit it is. And if you recall, the Villa Deluxe Holiday Home is a virtual line, meaning that it is linked to the orange room and the turquoise room. So if the orange room is booked, the Villa Deluxe Holiday room will close, and that's an example of a virtual line. Last but not least is the status of the stock unit. You can see you can either have it as active or inactive. Down the bottom here you've got a delete selected option. So you can tick the stock unit and click delete selected. This will only work though if that particular stock unit does not have any financial history. If there has been a booking placed in that stock unit, you will not be able to delete it. Hence you simply make its status inactive. Now as always, you can create a new stock unit at this point, but the number of stock units that you have in your ResBook system is controlled by your original subscription agreement. So you may be able to create a new stock unit, but you may not be able to turn it active until you've given us a call, and we can talk you through getting more lines for your ResBook system. Now to edit stock units that have already been created, really easy, click on the name. You can see it's underlined in blue, hence it is a link. So we're going to look at the orange room today. Alright, the first thing you see when you come into excuse me, the stock unit is the buttons across the top. We're first of all looking at the name and description button. So this is where you control the name and the description of the stock unit. So back to our online calendar, you can see the name here. If we click on the stock unit, we get the pop-up with all the information. So you can see the name of the stock unit here and the description as it is controlled over in ResBook. On this page is where you also determine whether a stock unit is active or inactive, or hidden or not. Now when you hide a room, it means that it is only visible for you within ResBook, so on your home page here. It is not on your online calendar, nor can it be seen by agents, nor is it communicated through to any portals. It allows you to have a line which you can manage just for yourself without anyone being able to book in. Next button along the top here is the type button. Now important on this page, this is where you depict whether it is a physical or virtual line. Now when you select the virtual, it gives you all the other physical stock units within your system that you can then link to. So if I was say the orange room is a virtual room and it is linked to room 1, if I booked the orange room, room 1 would close, and if I booked room 1, the orange room would close. So that's how virtual linking works. This is also where you would put a stock unit into a classification. So you notice in this drop down contains all the classifications we have already set up over on our classifications page. This is where you would put a stock unit into a classification. Now the next two buttons, the bed and bathrooms button, control a lot of things over here on the website. Firstly, you'll notice that underneath the stock unit, as shown on the calendar, it says the max guest settings, so right there. Within the stock unit pop-up, these settings control the bed and bath configuration sentence. So you'll notice here, can sleep a total of 2 guests. If there is a rollaway available, how many beds it has, and what configurations are available. So on the beds tab, you can put how many rooms there are. Here is the maximum amount of guests that the room can hold. If you have any rollaways that can be brought to into the room on request only. And here's where you can say how many beds you have. Now if you only have 1 bed, you can then depict whether it's twin or a double, and you can have both or either or, and then choose what type of bed it is. If you do have multiple beds, you'll notice you lose that size option, but whatever you type into this area here will be displayed within these brackets. As always, if you want to save any changes you've made, click the action button at the bottom of the screen. Otherwise, simply navigate away. Now you see the bathrooms tab. This is where you can say what type of bathroom you have. So private, ensuite or shared, and you can depict here whether you have a bath or a shower. Now on this page it gives you the options to show the bathroom and bed configuration. This is in relation to this sentence. Now a lot of people don't really like this sentence. Perhaps you'd like to go into more detail about the feathered down duvet and the Egyptian cotton sheets. Be a bit more descriptive. You can opt not to show this sentence, but we do recommend if you choose to turn this off on this page here by clicking no, that you describe the bathrooms and the beds in the stock unit description back on the name and description page. However, if this stock unit is part of a classification, then you will need to input that information into the classification description, because the name and description of a classification overrides the name and description of any stock units that have been put in there. The features button allows you to just tick a box to show what features are available in the room. You can see them listed here. If you have any suggestions you wish added to that list, please just pop us an email. We're always keen to get your feedback. The next button allows us to control what photos are displayed for this particular stock unit. So at this point we can see all the photos that have previously been uploaded into the system, and we can tick the box to say that we want to display both these photos over here on the stock unit pop-up. At the moment we've just got the one. If there were multiple photos selected for the stock unit, there would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can select the photos by clicking on the number underneath the photograph. The copy button allows you to copy the stock unit to create a new stock unit. Once again, you're controlled by how many lines your subscription allows. Now the rates and minimum stays buttons, we'll talk about rates and minimum stays shortly. They can also be found in the stock configuration menu. Last, I will briefly mention the address button. If you are a property manager and you have your stock units at different physical locations, you can use the address button to educate your guests on those physical locations. If you simply have one property and you're all at the same place, you do not need to worry about that address button at all. Alright, next on the list is rates. Now, the most important thing you need to know about rates is that your rate periods cannot overlap. The same date cannot be included in two different rate periods. So if that's all you hear me say today, take that down. I will just remind you over here at www.resbook.co.nz/training, there is a fantastic video that talks all about your rates. So if you don't take in everything I say today, don't worry, you can come and watch this video when you get round to amending your rates. Now rates are displayed in a couple of places. Obviously they are here. You can see at the moment there is a simple room rate or a unit rate applied to the orange room for this time period. Also displayed in the full rate column and per day. So we're going to have a look at the orange room. You can see the stock units, a rate period can be applied to a stock unit or a classification. A small note, if you've set up a rate period for a stock unit and then you've added it to a classification or you've created a new classification, that rate period you've already set up will vanish, it will go missing, and you will need to create a new rate period because you've now created that classification. So we're going to click on the orange room to go into it. Here we go. So from this page we can see all the rate periods that have been set up for the orange room. This button allows me to go back to that list of stock units and classification to choose a different area to apply rates to. So you can see the bottom line at the moment has expired, the dates are in the past. Now this list is simply listed as per when they are created. So when you're putting in rates, it pays to pop them in chronological order. You can see there's two rate periods with current dates, although I will point out to you here that this particular rate period, which started on the 1st of December last year and finishes on the 31st of December this year, does not overlap with the next rate period. So you'll notice this finishes on the last day of December. The next rate period starts on the 1st of January. So there are no overlapping rate periods here. Alright, we're going to talk about this particular rate period. So this page, you've got your tick boxes as always. If you wanted to delete a selected rate period, to edit the rate period, all I need to do is click on the dates. You can see they are both underlined. You can create a special by clicking on this box here, and we will get to specials very shortly. So let's go into this rate period and have a look. Now there are two types of rate periods you can create. First is a unit rate. The second is a single, double or triple rate. We'll talk about the unit rate first and foremost. So you can pick your date using the date picker here for your starting and end date. Remember not to have overlapping rate periods. You can pop in your unit rate here and the maximum guests that are allowed at that unit rate. So the orange room can only sleep 2 guests. But the unit rate is $500 for 2 guests. So if one person books in, it'll be $500. If 2 people book in, it'll be $500. Let's say the orange room could sleep a maximum of 4 guests. We would need to add an extra adult rate here. So the first 2 people will get charged $500. Every additional adult after that will get charged $50. So 3 people come, it'll be charged $550, etc., etc. The freeform text allows you to add what your rates include, perhaps breakfast, etc. So you can see down the bottom you've got your save rate period. If you don't want to save changes, you can navigate away. The next rate period up is an example of the single, double, triple rates. Again, you've got your beginning and end date at the top, and this time we've selected the single, double, triple rate. So if one person comes between this particular time period, they will get charged $100. If 2 people come, they will get charged $200. Now, as there is only 2 people allowed in the orange room, there's not a triple rate, but you could put the cost here for 3 people if they came. This tricky little question here, single, double, triple rate valid only for adults, means that if someone places a booking and you've said this is yes, that the adults will be charged this price, the children will be charged this price. So if this is the case, that this is only for adults, you will need to pop your child rate in here. Perhaps children are charged $50 instead of the $100 for a single rate there. So during the booking process, if I say that I am bringing 1 adult and 1 child, it will get charged $150. Now, if these rates are applied to everyone, you can simply select no, and this child rate will no longer be applied. Now, if we did have a max of 4 guests, you can have your single, double, triple rate and the extra adult. And this is just a nice example of what can be included in your freeform text there. So I'm not going to save my changes. I'm simply going to return to the orange room rates. Now, I know I went through that really quickly. It is a very, very important area of ResBook for you to understand. So I do want you to pop across to www.resbook.co.nz/training and check out this rates video. Oops, wrong tab. Sorry about that. All right, let's talk about our special rates. Now you can see here that there have been 2 types of specials set up for the orange room for this time period. Now a special is applied within a rate period. So these specials can only be applied during this period. There are no specials applied during this period. So you cannot have a special that lasts all year even though you have 2 rate periods within your year. To create a special, you can just click on this button down the end there, and to delete a special you can see remove is here. Now in order to put these specials in order of what gets applied first, you can use the up and down link here. So our top rate, top special here is a stay 7 nights and pay for 6. Underneath that is a weeknight special. So you can see that this special, which you can name here, has a beginning and an end date. Now this beginning and end date must be between the rate period that you've created that special for, as illustrated up above the grey box here. You've got a maximum guess that need to be applied there, and there are 3 different types of specials that can currently be set up. Now the easiest one to use is the third option. This option allows you to increase or decrease by a percentage or a fixed amount. For example, in this case, we've decreased by 25%. When using this option and this option alone, you can see the difference immediately. So you can see that 25% equals $375, and you can tick what rate you want the special to apply to. Next up, we have the stay X nights, pay for X nights, and you'll notice that you can no longer see the immediate nightly rate change here, but this just means if someone selects 7 nights on your online calendar, they will only get charged for 5 nights. The first option here is pay X amount for so many nights, and very similar, you cannot see the immediate nightly change, but if someone selects 2 nights on your online calendar, there we go, there's an example of a long stay discount, pay $500 for 3 nights, they will see the changes. So if I select 2 nights, I won't get the special, but if I select 3 nights and go book now, on the book now page, it'll only charge me $500. There we go. We had a tick in the turquoise room as well, but there's our special being applied right there. Now down the bottom here, you can decide when this rate applies to. So you can select all active days and months within this time period, which is within this time period, or you can select individual days. So you can see that this particular 25% decrease is only available on weekdays, but it is available on all months within this particular time period. Save special rates or just navigate away. So those are our special rates. Again, there is a great document over here that you might like to print out. It's called Things to Know Special Rates. Next on our list to cover is minimum stays. Again, over on our online resources page, there's a fantastic document called Things to Know Minimum Stays, so you may want to pop over there and print that out. You can apply 2 different types of minimum stays. The first one is a system-wide stay, and you can see there is 1 stay period defined, and we'll go and have a look at that right away. So currently there is a system-wide stay. So a system-wide stay applies to all your stock units within your ResBook system, all rooms, all lines, all classifications. So you can see there's a beginning and end date, quite nice and simple. You can select the date by using the date picker. The override setting means that this particular system-wide stay overrides any other minimum stays that have been placed on individual classifications or stock units. For instance, this booking is Rugby World Cup, funnily enough. Now, we know that the Orange Room has a minimum stay of 2 nights for the entire year. This particular stay of 3 nights is going to override the 2-night stay for the Orange Room during this time period. So that's what the override switch does. With minimum stays, there are 2 modes you can choose from. The allow request mode, if you recall, allows you to collect request bookings if they do not meet your minimum stay requirement. For example, if I tick the box here for the Orange Room and try to place a booking for 1 night, I will get an alert, and this is telling me that the booking will be turned into a request. If you'd rather not receive these requests, you can change this mode to required, and your guest will simply be told that there is a minimum stay policy in place and they will need to amend their booking. All right, returning to the main stays, you can see very easy, you can save your changes, adding in another line there. Alright, we can see also that the orange room has an individual stay period for it. And you'll see the only difference on this page is there is no override switch. So that was our stock configuration. So that talks about how your rooms are set up, how your rates are set up, and your minimum stay. So really important you understand because any bookings that are placed via your online calendar are controlled by those settings in the stock configuration list. So it's really important you make sure that all of that area is kept as up to date as possible. Alright, next we're going to go through our system settings list. Now this has got a nice long drop down on it. I'm going to start at the top and pick the most important ones to cover today. The general system settings, so that was admin, system settings, general settings, covers the name of your property, which can be seen on your online calendar. This is also where you can change your password and double check your login name. There are two email fields on this page which are important. The first one, send event alerts to this address. Is the email address that whenever anything happens in ResBook, ResBook will send an email to that address. So if you receive a new booking, ResBook will send an email to the top address. If you receive a booking or a booking gets confirmed, you'll receive an email to that address. Same with a cancellation or an agent request, etc. Underneath that section is the email CC field. If you would like to receive copies of all the emails that your system sends to your guests, you can add an email in there. The pricing level on this page is also quite important, and you'll need to remember to update this as your rates change, but this is basically used for displaying on any channels you choose to list with. For instance, our New Zealand Beds channel. That also brings us to these settings over here. If you recall, we looked at our guest reviews earlier. If you would like to show those guest ratings and guest reviews on your listing at South Pacific Accommodation, you can do so on this page by just clicking yes. Now I'll show you what they look like over here. So all the people that are listed with this website have ResBook, and I'll demonstrate on how you can get on to this very shortly. It's free to list on this channel. It's a channel that we maintain, although there is commission, obviously. So Allegra House, they have set up that they would like to display their guest ratings, and they'd also like to display their guest reviews. So you can see what that looks like here. Now all the information you see in front of you comes from Allegra House's ResBook system. Down the bottom here you can also see on this general settings page when your subscription is set to expire. Alright, next on our system settings list we're going to skip down to address and contact. Now the information that you enter onto this page gets inserted into your standard replies, the emails that your system sends to your guest. So it's important to keep this up to date also. Keep your email address, very, very important. And also you've got your email signatures. Now if you recall, this email signature gets inserted onto every email that your system sends out. So it's really important to keep as much information in here as possible. You may like to put an email address, your website, as much information as possible in your email signature. The property description page, most important setting on this, is your child policy. The child policy is displayed on your online calendar within your booking and payment policy. So if you say children are welcome, it'll say children are welcome, so yes, you accept children. If you say no, it'll say that your property is not suitable. The child age, above this age, gets charged full rate. The infant age above, below that age gets is for free. So you can see that children under 3 are free, children above the age of 15 are charged full rate. So that comes from your property description page in your system settings menu. Most important system settings page is our accounting and financial page. This page controls our payment policy as seen on our online calendar. So you can see there's a few settings here that talk about a deposit. So this talks about how much of a deposit is required, and in this instance we've got 25% of total, but you can have a certain percent of a day. You can even have 100% of a day. You can have a fixed amount, i.e. $100, or you can have a weekly amount. You can then show when the deposit is due. If you have an online credit card processing module, and you select the deposit to be due at time of booking, your system will automatically collect your deposit for you. If you'd like to say a set number of days before arrival, you can do so. You just need to remember to collect that deposit manually. And there's an area here, other field, that you can pop any more information in. You'll see it here underneath your payment policy. A lot of companies use this to display their terms and conditions. Here's your balance due setting. -1 is departure, 0 would be on arrival. Enter your tax information here, with your rates include or exclude tax. And by putting your bank account number on this page, not only does it facilitate us paying you your money for any payments we've taken via ResPay New Zealand, if that's the credit card processing module you're working with, but it also allows you to put it onto your invoices once you've ticked the correct box on the settings page, if you recall from session 1. Now these tick boxes along the bottom here, MasterCard and Visa must be ticked there, but if you don't want to accept American Express, untick that there. It means that your online page will no longer display the American Express logo, nor will American Express cards be accepted during the online booking process. Next on our list is website integration. Now this page talks about how your calendar is integrated onto your website. Really important, you remain on calendar version 2 and that you remain on the multi-page FIT form. This nice little tick box here controls whether your guests can place bookings for rooms that are already booked. So over on the calendar you'll notice that if I click on a room that already has a booking in it, I will get an alert telling me that it has already got a booking in it, and continuing to book this date will result in a request. If you'd rather not receive requests for book dates, untick that box there. Now on this page you'll also find your booking form notes. This bit of text is found above your calendar here and also in your booking and payment policy. On this page you can also control how many days are displayed. Now you'll notice everything looks good on this calendar, but if you display too many days you'll start to squish these columns up a little bit. Have a play around. I think the maximum days that can be displayed are about 16, but we suggest leaving these two fields as 5 and 3. Now as always there's an action button at the bottom of the page, but I don't want to make any changes, so I'm just navigating away. Now the availability website, this is our New Zealand beds or South Pacific accommodation. If you'd like to list on that website, all you need to do is come here, select yes, and you can even read the terms and conditions here. Now all that happens with these bookings is if any bookings are placed via this website, they get placed directly into your ResBook system, and we'll invoice you at the end of the month to collect our 10% commission. I believe it's 10% at the moment. So you can have a look and see what your listing looks here. Just click yes and click Save Changes. You can always remove yourself at a later date if you wish to no longer list on this particular channel. Next field here is our cancellation policy. So you can see there's certain lines that you can set up and there's text that you can add there. Little hint, you don't need a full stop there. A full stop gets inserted automatically. The ins and outs of ResBook. Here we go talking about our standard replies. So these are the emails that your system sends out. It's really important that you understand what's going on and what's being communicated to your guests. So hopefully you have time to listen to this. You can add text to personalize these emails, but you can't actually change the content of the email. So really easy. Type in this area here to add text to standard reply 1. Standard reply 1 is sent when a guest first makes a reservation request. So if someone's placed a reservation request online, type your text in there, click Save Changes at the bottom of the page, and then click Preview to see what your email is going to look like. So you can see here, obviously this is just fake data, but these areas will be populated as per the information from the booking. So all these emails, you can also see here, this is your property name has been inserted, and your email signature, which we mentioned earlier on the address and contact page. So you can see here that the text that you added has been inserted, but the rest of the text you can't change. If you would rather not send this first email when someone places a request, you can opt out of that by clicking No. Standard reply 2, I think, is probably the most important one. This is sent when you change the status of a new request, or perhaps you've placed a manual booking and you've set the status to pending reconfirmation. This is the key role in the pending reconfirmation procedure. So once again, you can add text to personalize the email. Type it in, click Save Change, and click Preview. So this is the email that gets sent to your guests based on the information within their booking, and they receive this paragraph asking them to confirm their acceptance of the rate. Obviously their email is going to have the link allowing them to do so, but this is just a demonstration. So you see your cancellation policy is mentioned in all the emails from now on, and here's your signature again at the bottom. So that's a really important one, standard reply 2. Standard reply 3 is sent when a guest either places an instantly confirmed booking on your online calendar, or perhaps they have completed your standard reply 2 email and confirmed the booking following the pending reconfirmation procedure. So this one's quite a popular one to make amendments to. You can explain how to find your property, etc. So people only get this once a booking is confirmed. So again, add text, save changes, click to preview. Here we go. So again, all those booking details for that particular booking will be repeated, the cancellation policy, and it'll say thank you for confirming your reservation. So that's the email they get when they place a confirmed booking, or they confirm a booking that you've manually added to the system. Now reply 4 is a special email, the welcome home email. If you do not have any text in here, this email will not get sent. Otherwise, it will get sent the day after your guests depart. So this email can be really handy for collecting reviews, which is why you can see here, if you've chosen to be listed on our New Zealand Beds website, you can ask for a availability review by clicking yes. Now if we preview the email, you can see here, it just simply says to them, if you'd like to write a review, click on this link. And that link will take them to the New Zealand Beds website where they can write a review. You can then manage those reviews. You can read them over there, and you can read them in your guest reviews list, as we talked about earlier. Now, if you have TripAdvisor, for instance, and you'd rather put your reviews on TripAdvisor, you can include your TripAdvisor link in this email and just select no here. And then this email will be entirely what you say in this area, and people can post reviews directly to your TripAdvisor account, which is a really handy tool. Last but not least, standard reply 5. This email is sent if you have set a manual booking status as confirmed. So you've skipped the pending reconfirmation procedure. The booking has an email address on it, and you've set it straight to confirmed. They will receive standard reply 5. So you can make standard reply 5 a little similar to standard reply 3. So it's just reminded here, do not sign off your replies with a signature of any description. You've noticed in the preview that the one we created on our address and contact page is automatically inserted. Next on the list is our booking forms. Now these talk about the different ways bookings can be placed into your system. Now, the first one is our manual form, as can be found here in the new bookings list. Now you do not need to worry about this box here, just ignore it entirely. If you recall, when you're placing a booking, if you require additional information to what you see on the screen, you can tick the guest details box, and that will collect all the information that you see on this screen here. So you don't need to worry about this, just ignore it. If you have created additional questions yourself and you'd like to ask them, you will need to tick the box to say visible. And when placing a booking, you'll need to select the My Configured Details box to access those. Most important thing on the booking forms section is the FIT form, the Free and Independent Traveller form, the online booking form, which we've seen. So we definitely want to say on the multi-page FIT form, and this is where you can find your instant confirmation settings. Now, we've talked about this is quite an industry norm at the moment, very in high demand by a lot of guests, a lot of travellers. So this is where you can control that. You'll notice that there is a buffer period which you can put in place, which is really, really handy. Perhaps you don't want to receive a booking that could be instantly confirmed for today and you've got no notice to prepare, but you're happy to accept instantly confirmed bookings for next week. You can control that here. I will note here though, if you have linked through ResBook to a channel manager using one of the portals we'll discuss shortly, instant confirmation must be on with a 0 buffer period. It is a requirement of using that specific functionality. Now this box here controls the questions that are asked at time of booking on the online form. So let's just go through. Yep, we're happy to place a request. So you know that the first name, the last name, the email address, the phone number and the country have already been collected, but this page allows you to control section 3, these additional questions. Now you'll recall we do stress less is more at this point, but if you'd like to ask more questions you can put ticks in these boxes here. If you want to force your guests to answer them before they can complete the booking, you can tick the required area. So that is our systems settings list, the most important parts anyways. Next on our list is our photo gallery. The photo gallery allows you to upload photos into ResBook and it's quite simple to use. Only thing you need to remember is that the photos must be less than 40 megabytes to be uploaded. And the preferred dimensions is 350 pixels by 250 pixels to make sure that they are displayed nicely on the stock unit pop-up. This one doesn't have any photos. That wasn't a very helpful illustration, was it? Alright, the logo image is inserted onto your invoices for you. The background image is no longer used. Don't put anything in the background image. You'll find it ends up tiled behind your online calendar and it is rather ugly. So don't use the background image at all. Your property photos generally are only seen when you have connected to such channels as New Zealand Beds. But the actual stock unit photos are displayed online on your online calendar. Really easy to upload a photo. Click upload, browse your computer for a particular file, select the file and click upload, remembering it needs to be less than 40 megabytes. So that is your photo gallery. Once you've popped the photo into the photo gallery, you can then go and have a look at your stock units and make sure it's ticked on your particular stock unit you want to display it on. My availability account we looked at very briefly yesterday. If you're using ResPay New Zealand, so the online credit card processing module that utilizes our e-commerce merchant account and DPS account, you will be able to see your balance going up and down. Your balance goes up as money has been paid to us, and it goes back down again as money is paid into your bank account. So you can see here payments that we've taken. For instance, yesterday's booking was for Fred Flintstone. You can see that we collected a payment of $251. You will then see it coming into the debit column once that money has been transferred into your bank account. Because this is a test system, I have never been paid, but that would really be nice. On this page you can also use your read your end user license agreement. You can print this, you can export it, and if you do have an online credit card processing module, you can also pay your subscription online. Next and last in our list is our portals area. Portals are links that you can link your ResBook system to other websites. So come and have a look at the other portals page for a list of websites that utilize your ResBook information, availability, and possibly rates, and can capture bookings for you at that website. Those bookings then get automatically put back into your ResBook system with these particular websites' information on them. The other portals that you see here all need to have instant confirmation turned on with a 0 buffer period to work correctly. We're going to talk about SiteMinder just now, as it's the biggest channel manager we connect to. We are working on a new channel manager at the moment, so keep your ear to the ground for that if you'd rather not join up with SiteMinder. So the same with all our portals. First and foremost, you need to contact that organization. These are not organizations we manage, but people we work alongside. So you need to set up your own SiteMinder account. Once you've done that, you can come in and set your portal to active. You can then indicate which rooms you'd like to be linked up with your SiteMinder listing. Save changes, sends an email away to SiteMinder. SiteMinder then configures your new SiteMinder account as per your ResBook system, and they then send that information and all your availability to any channels that you've chosen to list with them. For example, What If or Expedia. So you can then find your property on What If, and if someone places a booking via What If, that booking gets sent back to SiteMinder. SiteMinder sends it back to ResBook, so that booking is automatically put into your ResBook system, which updates your availability, which then immediately gets reflected in all the portals that you are connected to. So it's all about saving you time and making sure you don't get any double bookings. Important thing to know about SiteMinder, which makes it different to our other portals, is we do not communicate rates to SiteMinder. So you must log in at SiteMinder to manage your rates. But what that means is when the booking comes back into ResBook, you will need to amend that booking as per the email you receive from that channel. You will need to amend the rate, but at that point you can also add the agent details. If you remember earlier, we added agent details to a booking for What If, enabling you to use the agent statement at the end of each month for those particular bookings. So you'll notice What If has been set up in the system. If you would like some further information about portals, again on our training site there is some great brochures in here about there's a SiteMinder one and Book It, etc. But please do give us a call and we can talk you through the ins and outs of connecting with these systems. Again, I will just stress you do need to have instant confirmation on, which means that bookings placed through your online calendar will also be instantly confirmed. Alright, next step is to talk about reports. I always find it hard to cover this within a session because reports depend on what type of information you require at any one time. I'll point out to you the statistics department report. Enables you to report to your local council or government on all the details they seem to need to know all the time. Saves you a bit of time there. Now all our reports are similar. You can change your time frame, you can print, and you can export that as a CSV value over to Excel. I really do just suggest going through these lists. There aren't too many reports in here. Go through the lists and have a look at what each report includes to find out what information is best for you. A personal favorite of mine is the invoice totals by booking. If you are using the check-in, check-out functionality and keeping all your invoices up to date, this particular report can be great in showing you what money you haven't collected yet. There we go. So this is based on information and invoices. So if you have collected money but you haven't updated the invoice yet, this report won't work correctly. But you can see for this particular booking, there is $751 outstanding. But if we come into the invoice from this report, you can see the balance there, $251. If we perhaps click on the payments entry button and update the booking, it may change that information. There we go, balance due is only 1. So I'm going to save that booking, and if we have a look at that report again, the change will be reflected. So it's just this report will only work if you keep your invoices up to date. There we go, updated that. So please just go through the list, have a look to see what's going to work best for you. Actually, this general usage statistics can be really handy. This report shows you how many times your calendar has been checked online and how many bookings have been placed through your online calendar. So handy to keep an eye out for that. Alright, if anyone's got any questions now, if you'd like to type them into the chat area, please go ahead. Otherwise you can call me later. Here's our number up the top of the screen here. Now you'll either speak with myself, Karen, or Vicky. We usually man the phones between 8:30 to about 6:30 during the week. Over the weekend, if you do have an emergency, there's a mobile phone on that answer phone, which you can call in emergencies. Across the top here, you'll notice there's a few more links. Click the tips button, have a look, see what it does. Handy little tips about using ResBook. The ResBook Assistant is your first stop shop for any questions you have about ResBook. You'll notice that the ResBook Assistant menu down the side here reflects your ResBook menu. For instance, if we wanted to have a look at our accounting and financial settings, it's under the admin menu, under system settings, and there we go, accounting and financial. So this page just explains all the different settings within your calendar, what they do, etc. So have a look here to see whether you can find the information you need first and foremost. Next to that is the support link. This simply sends an email to us at support@availability.co.nz, and then there is your logout button. Now we've already sent through to you a brief user manual, but again I will stress to you this page is fantastic. It's got a lot of information on it. There's the agent videos I mentioned to you, which would be great to watch. You've got a rates video there. You've got invoices, checking in and out, stock units, exporting your reservation details, etc. A little bit of information on instant confirmation if you want to learn more about that, and then there's all these documents which you can print out. So please do check out this page, that is www.resbook.co.nz/training. Alright, no questions have come through, which is absolutely fine. Next we need to talk about our go live procedure. So now that you've completed both ResBook training sessions, we can make your system live. So it's really important that you have entered your forward bookings to make sure that your availability is correct so you can't receive any double bookings. Then you need to ensure that your ResBook calendar is integrated with your website so you can start receiving bookings via your own website. And then all you need to do is relax and let ResBook do the work. ResBook is really all about saving you time and stress. So if you have any questions about how something can be done better, please give us a call. Alright, so thank you so much for completing ResBook training. You're now ready to go live. We'll pop you an email again a little later this afternoon to let you know that that step has been completed. And please do feel free to give us a call whenever a question pops into your head. If you need a little guidance on how to handle a particular aspect within ResBook, we're always just a phone call away. Thank you so much for your time today. And if you've got any feedback about today's training sessions or your experience with ResBook or the availability team, please let us know. Have a lovely afternoon.